Wow, what super weird times we're living in. At first, maybe it was a little exciting, or at least not terrible when we found out that school was canceled or our classes were moving online. But then all the other stuff got canceled too. Swim meets got wiped away. Baseball season was crushed. School dances and prom were canceled. And I mean, virtual prom is like not the same. A host of senior events were canceled just when senior year started to be fun. I think we're all feeling it right now. I spent some time yesterday with my brand new planner that I was so excited about, and I sat and erased the next few weeks worth of events that I had written in. It was hard. But then at the same time, I have loved getting to be home with my dog. I have loved getting to do my fancy meal cooking and getting to wear my slippers while I work on my computer. It's a little strange holding such opposite feelings, such big opposite feelings during all of this. Maybe you're feeling it in the pit of your stomach, or you're just all around bummed. Maybe you've sometimes been angry or irritable in the last week. Maybe you've yelled at your parents or your sibling or the dog, and you don't really know why. In my house, I put up 2 lists on the wall this week. One says grateful, and the other says loss. I'm listing the losses because naming them is really important. The little things and the big things. The canceled spring break trip, not getting to go to church, wondering if graduation is going to happen, finding out graduation might not be happening. But I'm also listing the gratitudes, finding things to be thankful for the little surprises of this disruption. For you, it might be playing guitar again, watching movies together, not having to pack your lunch every morning, being able to connect with your friends through video and on your phone. This practice of naming both the losses and the gifts is really important in times like these. And it's important for 3 reasons. Number 1, naming loss helps us be honest about grief. We don't have to pretend like everything is fine. We can name what's lost right now. We can lament it together. We can say, that's rough. We can be sad. We can acknowledge those sources of anger and irritability. There are plenty of those sources going around right now, and there are more coming. We can name what we're grieving. Number 2, naming loss keeps us from minimizing or silver lining things. I find that my knee-jerk reaction often is to minimize. To get over it. You don't have it so bad. I used to walk uphill to school both ways in the snow. Other people have it so much worse than you do. While that might be true, even now, it's not helpful. And it's certainly not helpful as a first response. I would urge us to remove the words "at least" from our vocabulary. It'll help us have empathy for each other. We might try to say things like, "at least you're healthy," or "at least you get to video call everybody." But saying "at least" is a way to try to add silver lining around a dark cloud experience. Instead, most of us just want someone else to acknowledge when we're sad. We want to have somebody sit with us in that sadness for just a little while. This week's losses might feel pretty minor in a few weeks, but that's not for us to judge today. We need to see and name the losses for what they are and how we're all experiencing them. We need to name when we're grieving and what we're grieving. Sometimes that grief is going to feel really big and it's going to overwhelm us. We may cry or scream or laugh like we're delirious, or we may just shut down and want to be alone. And sometimes that grief is going to be small. It's going to feel just like a little buzz in the background of our minds. Whatever it's making you feel right now, go with it. And then let's help each other name the loss that we're feeling. And the third point, naming gratitude prevents us from drowning in sorrow. We can be honest about what's hard without getting stuck. And I think this is the hard part, especially when the timelines for being closed or canceled keep getting pushed back. But here's the thing. God has never abandoned us. God will never abandon us. You don't need to look any further than the rainbows in the sky. God has promised to be with us in this muck, in the thick of things. And God will keep sustaining us and blessing us in the meantime. God's grace and God's love is here. God is still blessing us. Name those blessings that you see and be grateful for them. Now, naming what we're grateful for isn't going to make the grief go away, but it's important to hold them both, the grief and the gratitude. It's important to find something that's going right, to name wherever God is in our lives, even when everything else seems so wrong. I want you also to know that grief can be a wild and unruly feeling. Know that you can always text me, DM me on Instagram. You can always text Mitch. You can always text Courtney. Reach out to one of us. It helps to talk about it. And it helps to pray with someone. And we're here for you because we love you. So when you find yourself getting irritable or angry or sad while we're all at home together, take a moment to name the loss and name what you're grateful for. Name the blessing and name the bummer. Maybe you can make a list on your fridge, or maybe you'll go around the dinner table and name it all together. Or maybe you'll journal it. You see, when you don't name grief, it has a way of coming out sideways, in ways that might hurt the people around us and make us all go further apart. But if you can call it what it is, and then name what you're grateful for as well, you'll find that it brings us all closer together. And wherever we are close together in love, there God is as well.